Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to continue where we left off on making a manna. This time we're going to go into the next step where I'm going to start going into the finalization of this page. It has been a crazy freaking week. I wanted to post last week. I didn't even get a chance to draw anything. So instead of working on anything final, I'll show you guys a little preview. Now these were the pages we did last week for the video. And then since then, in what little time I've had, I've been able to rough out all the way up to half of page 20. We're going for like 35 to 40 pages since it's seasonal, and I'm trying to pack a lot into this. This is just before the big fight scene of this chapter, so a lot goes on. A lot of world building happens here, and I'm really excited to share with you this chapter, which is going to be live on May 15th. I'm cutting it really close this time. I did not intend last week to go the way it did. It really put me behind, but we're going to troop through it and we're going to get it onto Coffee Originals in time, because that is the MANNA way. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into it. I did add some text since last time, basically just copying the script. I do that for two reasons. Instead of typing it, one, when I'm really in a rush, and two, trying to just figure out where these things are going to go. So we can ignore the text for right now. The first step is getting the borders in, the panel lines. Now, this is not the way a lot of people do it. This is probably considered wrong to most people working on manga, but I do not like... I just feel like I don't have the freedom I have to make the pages I want with the actual tool for making frames and borders. So I just use the line tool. I always make up my own panels. I make up my own word bubbles. I need the freedom to do my own thing, otherwise it just does not come out right. It's a me thing. You do what fulfills you best. There's no one way to do everything. You're going to find a myriad of ways to do things. There's obviously right ways of approaching, how to make a manga. Gutter space, line thicknesses, even though that does vary, but you're not going to want to see your manga look like this, where you've got this insane thick border that's just going to look really sloppy. I've seen indie creators do it, and it's just where does that come from? How do you see that and think this looks okay? That makes no sense. We're doing it MANNA, so things are going to look crisp, they're going to look clean. Okay, I got my layer in blue. I'm going to lighten it up. And I don't want to spoil things, but we've got this introduction of a new character here. Got my pencil ready, and let's go. So this is going to be the rough before the final lines. Just going to get his face in here for a bit. Depending on the situation, I know a lot of people will be like, oh, always use guiding lines to figure out everything. Personally, eventually you get to a point where you know your style, you know your characters, you're not going to need all that, and especially unless it's a really strange angle, you really don't need to, I don't think. I mean, some professionals do it till now, I'll see them in live events, but it's just a personal preference. Plus in the West, we just don't have time. We don't have the luxury to work on this full time. It's not, art, sadly, in America is becoming less and less important. It feels like it's really dying here in the States, sadly. The amount of people using AI to make work and even Hollywood cutting jobs just for this, quickness of slop they're so willing to use. It's baffling, but it sums up pretty much what most CEOs are like. They really don't care. They just look for efficient ways to make money for themselves, which is just a real shame, because we could be using AI for much better things to help humanity. But that's not the world we live in, so it is what it is. It's my first time drawing this character within the manga, so it's a little rough, but I'm just trying to get a feel for it right now. Like I said, this is going to be pre-final lines. I just want to get an idea. Now this isn't working for me. And this is where you kind of want to just have fun with it. Don't stress it too much. So this week was so crazy, and it ended even worse. Work became insane. I had to put in a lot of overtime hours. Things were just getting out of control. So my day job came first, unfortunately, and some nights I was just way too tired to get back into the grind and work on this. I tried to do what I could. Like I said, I did get up to halfway of page 20 with the rough, so that's a win. I'll take it. I wanted to be further, but it's okay. And then later on, my family in Lebanon are dealing with the bombing from Israel, and recently it was really bad. One of my cousins was right next to an explosion, so that was rough. Family was shooken up for a bit. And then we ended the week with my daughter breaking her arm. We were at the park. I'm looking away for 1 second. I'm not next to her, and she falls off a ladder and fractures her bones. Luckily, it's like the kind of break, I guess the doctor was saying, like you would want your child to have. So I'm thankful for that. It could have been a lot worse. And she should be okay in about a month, God willing. But yeah, it's been just crazy. But that happens, sometimes we get those kind of weeks where nothing goes as planned, and you just gotta make do with it and, keep on going. So this character, I really want to emphasize, both a sense of fear, but also, some arrogance. He's scared, but at the same time, he thinks he's gonna get him, talk his way out of it, out of the situation he's in. Don't need to detail him up too much, but just enough to give him some kind of character. Give him a bit of a beard. Now the flaming fist. This Jin and this character's power is it's basically gonna be these little steel plates that attach to his body, to his hand, to his arm. And it's gonna have these little tubes that create the fire that surrounds him, and he's gonna be able to manipulate it, launch it. I don't want to give too much away, but I think it's gonna be really cool. I think you guys are gonna enjoy this. It's gonna be a nice change of pace from Rod's first battle in the first chapter, where he's mostly fighting people who just have daggers and whatnot. He did fight Cabo, but that was just a quick show of strength. He's no match. So this one will be a lot more even, and hopefully will be a lot more entertaining. So we've got him going like that. I'm thinking of doing his eye instead. Zoom in. Sorry guys, my audio or my video freaked out, and then it had stopped as I was doing this. So basically what I did is I got rid of that gulp text from here. I focused on the eye because I wanted to show that level of fear. His pupils dilated now. And I was explaining that sometimes some of these things, like, this is the moment to change it before you get to your final line work. I did add some more details to here to show the fire expanding, kind of like a flame on Johnny Storm type of thing. So moving on, I'm gonna draw this. This is gonna be the reveal of the shadowy character who's gonna be the main antagonist of this chapter. So the way I like to approach some of this is it can be the final lines occasionally. So like, for example, this one turned out pretty good, so I can go over it much easier to be the final line work for this character. It's pretty much all there. For the most part, these lines are now, we've got our panel boxes. We've got it filled in enough to understand how things are going to flow. So when I go back over this, there's going to be a clear understanding of how it's going to look. Now here, I want this thing to be really cool. This page, the shadows are really going to make it stand out the most, as his flaming power is going to start expanding. I'll really get to play with shadows in the final few steps to finish the drawing. He's got these ripped up sleeves. Oops. Oh yeah, no, that's right. See, I still have to reference my character sheet for these new characters. It's going to take a minute to get it all memorized. But the more I do this, the quicker I'll be with drawing each of them. Let's have the flames coming out, spiraling out. So one of the rules, if you will, is that jinn attach themselves into a form of a weapon that is on its partner's arm. So Kabul has his zigzagging snake blade on his right arm. Rod has Dal on his right arm, that big blade. And this character is going to have his jinn on his right arm, making his fist. So I'm going to make it kind of like a limb-based system where characters will have it on either arm, left or right. Could be on their legs, could be on their body. I'm thinking I'll probably play around with it, but maybe the body and head would be considered one frame, where like if they're going to have something, it would be like maybe an armor-based, something like a Guyver that can like shoot some type of elemental power. I still have to finalize the full system, but essentially what it's going to be is each jinn will have an element, and some elements will obviously be stronger on other elements. Like a water type would defeat a fire type. The basic kind of stuff. The thing that all classic shonen have, things that we don't see anymore. I feel like sometimes the basics work really well and are underrated. But anyways, yeah, I think I forgot to, I don't know, yeah. I'll have it show up a little bit. But basically, you're going to either have something on your arm, your leg, your body / your torso / head, and that'll be your Jinn weaponry. There's going to be like shield types, sword types, you name it. So there's going to be a varying degree of Jinn we're going to see throughout the series. This one's going to kind of come with a wing. Some are going to be a lot more elemental. Some are going to be more like rods, where it's, a sword, an arm blade. Enough that they can vary greatly, but at the same time have a solid identity and feel like, this is all, it makes sense in the world. I'm not going to do something where like there's some giant cannon or something that just feels like futuristic. I also want it to give it a sense of like a medieval vibe as well. I think that's important for establishing, continuity and keeping things in order. Since this character comes from a more Arabian village, I'm going to give him a little bit more of an Arabian aesthetic. Rod comes from the tribes, so he's going to look more tribal, while he's got, ragged clothes. The city he's in is not in good shape. And here we are. Look at that. Not even a full 20 minutes and I'm nearly done with this page. And it'll be ready for final execution after this. Not sure if I want to do a third video on this. Maybe I'll do another video on something else, a different topic. Just because I really have to crank out this chapter to be posted in time. Have his hair kind of blowing from his own force. But if you guys really want, comment down below and I'll do a part 3 of this to show the final line works. Yeah, just let me know. Otherwise, I can go on and do a different video for a different phase, or maybe I'll get to finally go over Sacrifice Volume 1, go through my printing process, how all that turned out, so you can see that. Yep, just giving myself little reminders, areas that are going to have deeper blacks. It's like you get to the point where these things are just so fluid and flow through you. You know what you're going to do, how it's going to look. Going to be in an alley, but I want to add some motion to the building. I don't want them to look stagnant. So we're going to exaggerate them a bit. As if the buildings are even closing in on this guy. A little too much. Keep it in proportion. I'm gonna add some brickwork and details later. And then this guy will be down here. Now, I don't always have character sheets, like for this one-off dude who's gonna only appear here and one other time. He's kind of just more of on the fly type of situation, which I'm not opposed to that, like that. I would say definitely do that for characters that are one and done. They don't have a big role. I just feel like you want to save time as much as possible, right? We all have the same excuses. We're all busy. We're all swamped with our jobs, with our families, kids, life. Like, it is what it is. And that's where MANNA comes into play. That's the benefit of MANNA, that we can, and I wouldn't say it's cutting corners, but it's rather finding the shortest path forward while maintaining dignity, Sometimes going straight through the forest is going to lead to more problems than, cutting through a shortcut. Maybe if you go straight, there's going to be like a cliff you don't see. But if you went around, you'd follow the slope all the way around and get through that forest. MANNA's kind of like that. There's a lot of factors at play, but you have the opportunity to cut through and get to the other side. I know Coffee Comics has said that he's not going to allow, the doors closed now. He's not going to allow other people to join in on the crusade. But if you've got the work, if you've got the passion, I'm sure, send in your work, and if he has time to get to it, you can even send it to some of the other players here, some of our other teammates, If you're serious about this and you want to do it, just because I feel like the roster we have is good, but, we could use more, obviously. The movement's still very, very young. And the more hands on deck, the better. Even if you have a one-off, one-shot, if you want to get featured, you can contact Coffee. We could do some kind of advertising for you. There's a lot of opportunities here. And real opportunities, unlike a lot of places that exist right now, sadly. Okay, let's see how this is looking. Do I want that there? This is going to have a big glow effect, and then he's going to be pretty shaded in. I'm just getting a feel for how I want the page to go. We'll have these areas pretty shaded up. Yeah, I think I'll just leave that blank there. Okay, and then this guy will have some good amount of black shading behind him, just to make that look really dramatic. I love those kind of dramatic effects. There we go. Okay, that's looking good. What do you guys think? I think we're ready to go into the final lines now. So there we have it. What was that, like half an hour to do this double page spread with just enough details to get me to go into the final steps where we'll add hatch, final lines. And it'll go even quicker now because I've got such a better and clear reference here of everything that's going on. Everything fits into the panel. Before that, I'll do the bubbles that way. So the important thing about doing the bubbles, I'll show you right now. So let's say that's going to be here, something like that. Now I know I'm not going to have to draw for the single layer. Fill it in with white. Now I know I don't have to draw the flooring here or building details here. That's covered. That's what this is for. And same goes for the other bubbles. So that one's going to be there. You want to... Oh, shoot. Okay, rookie mistake here. This is why it's good to do these mistakes now. Let me grab that. I'm going to scoot that on over here. We want to maintain the text in the boundaries. Otherwise, that would have been right in the fold of the page. That would have been really bad. So that can come out more. Yep, whoops, that was silly. Sometimes you just get so taken into the piece that you forget. But that's okay. Yeah, so all the text will be in here and then, filled in. So that can save you details on the pages. Now, let me show you another thing real quick before I hop off of this video. I think it's gone on long enough. I know I used a scene here. No, maybe not. Yeah, never mind. I don't know if I did it this chapter. Like I said, I had to crunch a lot in such little time I had. Even my lunch breaks, I didn't have a single lunch break I could dedicate to the comic, to the MANNA last week. This has all been work at night before bed, before passing out. Sometimes I fell asleep on the couch, barely did anything. But, yeah, okay. I think that's enough for now. Let me know if you guys want a part 3 to this. I'm not going to finalize it yet. I'd rather finish getting the rest of the pages filled in before that, and then I can apply these steps to the rest of these. And hopefully finish by May. Not hopefully, we will finish by May 15th. And it's going to be a great chapter. So, I'll see you next time. Thanks, you guys, and good luck on your own work.